true.
Cardboard. Do you want like I can get you, but they have paper in them.
Cardboard will do, Dave. That's all I had readily available. So when the mind minds, David, I don't wait.
Cardboard was more readily available than paper.
In the current application of my thinking, yes, David. Because the paper I had, I didn't want to use for this. See, David, you just view paper as paper. A paper is so much more, and some paper doesn't need some things written on it with other things in a collection that we call books, David. The book I had to write in was special, so it didn't need podcast notes in it.
Ryan, Prince Andrew was arrested.
For what, David? Symbolic. What is that?
So it was probably symbolic. Ben Shapiro said the royal family was only symbolism. Because rich, powerful people never have any sway in power, the government. Former Prince Andrew released, but still under investigation after arrest following Epstein revelations.
How many times was the Prince referenced in the Epstein files? Do we know? Because I've heard that Trump has been referenced 86,000 times or something.
Yeah, the Epstein stuff is a little tricky to.
Can you ask Gronk how many times Trump has been referenced in the Epstein files? Compare it to how many times Prince Andrew's has been referenced in the Epstein files. Is that a possibility, dude? Because I think we're coming to a crux of here, and this isn't just going to be an Epstein show. I imagine, David, clearly we're not going to just do that program every day, but I do think there's a couple concepts coming full circle that you and I have talked. I think we brought it up last week on the show, maybe this week.
Here's what we got. We got a little Epstein stuff, with Prince Andrew, but we also AOC talks about masculinity. We got to talk about.
Because she knows what it's like to be.
Yeah. More Gaza Board of Peace meetings. So this is fun. You brought up a couple QAnon points, which I think will be interesting. The Epstein files refer to massive trove of documents. Yes, I know what they are. Released by the U.S. Department of Justice in 2025. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep. Come on, give me the number. I don't want all your bullshit. Let's see. Trump is referenced far more frequently overall, often tens of thousands of times. 38,000 combined references per New York Times versus Prince Andrew's hundreds of times. Oh, this is what the AI said. Trump's the bullet points under that was Trump's higher public profile and longer social overlap with Epstein. Higher public profile than the prince. More media.
Well, it's ceremonial
about Trump.
Ceremonial.
Yeah, it's completely ceremonial. Public submissions. Prince Andrew's ties are more directly personal, alleged.
More personal with only 100. So the reason it 30 times the references is because
he was
Trump is famous.
He was just a peasant prince.
It's just a peasant. Dude, I hope. Look, when the robots take over, I hope they give us all one day before they kill us or whatever they're gonna do with us. That we all just get to go in front of them and ask for it'll be like revelations will be like you waiting outside the Apple store for your one question. I just really hope they just give us the time to all get one question. Crazyville. Yeah, it's just famous. That's why he's in there 30 times more than a peasant prince. To Democrat hoax.
Democrat hoax involving a prince.
Involving a prince.
The Democrat hoax thing. Can we just admit that is absurd?
Some red meat, dude.
That they for one had the foresight to know Trump was going to be president, like 20 years in advance, to really start early on all this, to throw some of their own people under the bus, like Bill Clinton, to get just other various people involved, like Bill Gates and whatever, to get other nations' princes involved, to have other nations' prime ministers involved, all is a big hoax just to take down what they assume to be President Trump 20 years in the future, is a ridiculous idea. On Tuesday, November 30th, 2010. 2010? What is this article from 8 hours ago? What is this? On Tuesday, November, what is this article? November 30th, 2010 at 2:57 p.m. Prince Andrew, as he then was, received details of upcoming trips as Britain's official trade envoy. Hong Kong, Shenzhen, Vietnam, Singapore. At 3:02 p.m., he forwarded the entire email to Jeffrey Epstein. At dawn today, that stupid and unethical decision, and many others like it, finally caught up with him. Police arrested, wow, that's a name, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor on the morning of his 66th birthday on suspicious of misconduct in public office.
Is this supposed to be a current article that's misdated?
No, it's what they're pointing
That's
to
what they
was the
in that.
the specific email that I think led to the arrest.
Gotcha.
And are now searching his homes. Prosecutors have better search the home. 16 years later, gonna find a lot of evidence in there. Jesus Christ. The offense carries a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. His brother, King Charles III, was not officially informed in advance, but had signaled that the royal family would cooperate. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I don't know. Like FBI, DOJ, Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino, any of you people? Can we admit that this was a little more than just one guy who liked some girls who were underage? Are we still pretending this was a one-man show here? We have the prince, the brother of the king, is involved in this. And it's just all one, it's just Epstein. Only Epstein knew about the girls. We're going to talk about prime ministers involved in foreign nations. We have our own presidents, past and maybe present, involved. Tens of thousands of times. Of course, that doesn't mean guilt, Ryan, of course, but I don't know. I'd rather be mentioned 0 fucking times in the Epstein files if I were a betting man. Like, if you were to ask any high-profile person, how many times would you like to be referenced in the Epstein files? 0 seems like the appropriate answer. Not tens of thousands. This comes from the Megyn Kelly show. Here's a fun clip, Ryan. Here's a fun clip.
Did Tucker get freed? Did we ever say that?
Did he what?
Is Tucker free, or is he still like he just?
Oh, he's
was
very
detained?
free. There's a well, we can play it. There's a clip that's circulating that people are stating proves that he was never detained.
Wait, what?
Hold on. This clip from
sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I wasn't going to play the clip, but we can get there.
The Israeli permanent mission at the UN was responsible for security at Jeffrey Epstein's apartment. That's according. Yes, so that's according to emails that we found in the files. So
I have been
Megyn Kelly
reliably
grew
told
her
that you
hair
are
out,
an
huh?
anti-Semite if you look
And
at
is married.
all into Jeffrey Epstein's connections to Ehud Barak or Israel, Ryan. So you just tread carefully.
So what's probably going on here? So this is related to Ehud Barak staying for such long extended periods of time in his apartment, which undercuts Ehud Barak's previous argument that I barely know the guy, I have no relationship to him. He was staying so much in the apartment that the Israelis literally took over security for the apartment. So the maids and any guests that went in and out of the apartment had to go through background checks and had to be confirmed and coordinated with the Israeli consulate at the UN. And at one point,
all the time, or just when Ehud Barak was there?
It seems like all the time, because there's the handler, this guy named Rafi, who's in the emails. He turns over and you see Barak's wife. He's like, all of a sudden she's getting texted by another Israeli official, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I have the file now. Let me know who's going in and who's going out. And Epstein approves like drilling of holes to put in the security equipment. Mm-hmm. It can be controlled remotely. So that's at least 2016, 2017.
Hold on. Real quick recap of what he just said, and then we can I'll let you go. This man is saying in the files, you can find these documents that show the Israeli government installed security cameras in Jeffrey Epstein's apartments that they could control remotely. They did security and background checks on employees of Jeffrey Epstein. The prime minister, former prime minister of Israel, is all over the files. But the FBI still says, no, one creepy guy, all these powerful people just happen to hang out with him.
Definitely not the head of a sex trafficking.
No, definitely not a big blackmail operation for intelligence agencies. Who the fuck? How many pedophiles do you know that have security cameras installed by foreign nations?
Yeah, well,
probably
all of them, but it's all or none. I mean, probably all of them or none of them.
I'm saying none of them.
All right. Do you remember when they first said that they had cameras all over the apartment, etc., all that stuff? When they first Jeffrey Epstein, do you mean the cameras installed by the Israeli government?
Yeah, those ones.
Those ones.
Those ones. Those are the ones.
Okay. The ones that they said that they were able to be reviewed?
It's probably the ones that...
So the intel that the United States...
tens of thousands of hours of Epstein raping kids.
Came from the Israeli government.
Well, they had the cameras.
Well, they had remote access to the cameras?
They could remotely
What the fuck does that even mean? What the fuck does that even mean for the data on the cameras? If I can remotely access... So you're telling me... Right? You're telling the cloud. So the FBI has a password...
Whoa. Who said the FBI, Ryan? Jeez.
David, so hold on. How the fuck did they get the data if it's remotely controlled? Did they hack past a password on an app?
How did our government
How the fuck did our government get Israeli?
They're our greatest ally, right?
They're really bad at intelligence, David. How the fuck did they get on an island with all the most powerful people, with princes? They're just really bad at intelligence. But they just picked the one pedophile, billionaire pedophile that's connected to all the scientists and everything else. They're so bad at intelligence, they snuck onto a fucking island, drilled holes in the wall, and were able to run security checks. They're so bad at intelligence, they could pick Tucker Carlson. They could pick Tucker Carlson out of a fucking lineup of him and his entire entourage, but they didn't. It was just routine. They didn't know that they were just picking. They're that bad at intelligence. How the fuck did our government get surveillance footage that has access and connection capability to the Israeli government? Okay, and then also, how come we didn't know about that? How come the Israeli government didn't tell us that?
Well, I mean, it was purely for security of their own prime minister, Ryan. I think it's
Does the Israeli government run our government?
I don't suspect that's the case. I think if anything, it's the other way around.
I don't think so, dude.
I don't think you don't bow to
They
smaller,
they
less
are not
powerful nations.
they're not coming to America and kissing the Washington Monument.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I think logically it would make way more sense that we control them.
We're really logically with pizza. We're in logic, Dave. We're in logic that the people with the worst intelligence can get to a pedophile island, drill cameras in the fucking hall, install it, and also interview everybody. They're super
I mean,
bad at
our logic,
intelligence, have
our
access
logic,
to all of this data, tens of thousands
yeah.
of hours
I
that
mean,
they're
our
just going
logic
to
told us that
transfer over.
it was
We were
probably
told for
intelligence
2
agencies that
fucking
led
years.
to
We were
security
told for
footage in
2
his house,
years, David.
right?
We were told for 2 years about a list that didn't exist and all these cameras and everything else when it was ran by another fucking government.
Ah, yes, but remember, the logic told us that was a lie.
The logic would say all of it's a lie to begin with, which is
Right,
why I'm
that's why you
saying we
trust the
can't think of
logic.
this logically. We can't trust logic.
No, but the logic has steered us in the right direction the whole time, Ryan. That's where
Logically, David, if you study these people, you know that they're pedophiles and worshiping the devil. You logically know that. You're just emotionally over it. Now, I'll get there, but this is where I think we are emotionally at the point that most people are understanding what's going on.
Do you think so? Do you think
I
the average person has a real understanding of what's happening?
no, but it's like, wait a minute.
Sure. Yeah, there's definitely maybe that's a step in the right
What
direction. The average
I'm
person at
saying
least is like,
we're not
whoa.
like talking a JFK experience of conspiracy believing. You remember years ago it was like 1 in 4 Americans believe at least one conspiracy or something we talked about on the show.
Mm.
Like I'm not talking that. I'm talking like people are like, wait, it's really all ran by corrupt people. Because before it would be easy to look at like Walmart, be like, yeah, Walmart's corrupt, Amazon's corrupt. Be like, yeah, but it's like PetSmart's okay, right? They're
Well,
not too bad.
this does kind of lead into that QAnon post that you shared with me.
Yeah, this is actually on my little
Cardboard.
How do I word it? The internet's waking up. The internet's waking up. Dave and I didn't come on here and start a program just to like say we were like, oh yeah. It was just like, yeah, this is like stuff we talk about all the time. It's pretty cool. But it was also like to talk about it and get it out. And then like also be like, you know what? We've been kind of predicting the future a little bit in our own little sector of the internet. And we're gonna start chipping away at this thing in our own thing, right, Dave? And that's what the chat was, right? For all those years, because the internet people weren't ready, right, for the full truth. I remember, Dave, remember me, like when I first used to get like really mad. I was like, man, I just wish like people would like wake up. And some people would tell me that like the world couldn't handle the truth. This is like the red pill matrix analogy, right? That most people want to stay asleep, Neil. And it took me a while and it took me different avenues, David. Obviously, podcast is one of the things I've done to like channel the shit so I'm not like carrying that we're all slaves to global pedophiles, right? Like I used to have trouble going to work over this stuff. And even out of all the stuff you could find on the internet, some of the concepts, ideas, discussions, particularly when Kevin came on the program, he had all of the stuff that the internet is now catching up to that I'm talking about. But he had the stuff with adrenochrome, he had the Illuminati bloodline, he had the Rothschilds, he had the Jew conspiracy, he had the fucking he literally came on the show and like has the books that were written based off the sources. I mean, this is all allegedly, but like at some point, this goes back to what I'm saying. The internet's waking up. The Epstein files are showing the Pizzagate. They're showing the pedophile rings. They're showing the demonic worshiping. They're showing the ritualistic murdering of children and eating them. Spirit cooking.
Well, remember, that's a step too far for Bill Maher, though.
It's Bill Barr came out and said that QAnon was right about everything.
I know, that's the funny thing. And like
he came out.
In his own thing, Bill Maher comes out and he says, man, these QAnon people, maybe they were right the whole time. Except eating babies. Democrats eating babies, that's, I don't know about all that.
Well, they're not Democrats now, are they, David?
Well, it's almost like, do you really believe it? Because because you just said, oh, now I believe it, but like I still don't believe this, and it's like, why don't you now? Because like now
This
you're
is the
figuring it out.
emotion. This is the emotional thing I'm talking about. This is we're in this bandwidth of like the emotional, dude. It's fucking called something that like it's a flow. Remember we said the other day that it took years. Maybe it was actually better the way we woke up. That it was like it took 10 years of us being like, dude, they're pedophiles. They're pedophiles. They're pedophiles. They're pedophiles. You're like, dude, you're crazy. Like, dude, I'm just saying, like look into like this thing and like you're crazy. Vince Foster, you're crazy. Look, whatever, military industrial complex, right? Like the FDR said this thing about the growing military industrial complex, and now we have right. Like you just look into it. Like 30 years ago, man, like this was like no, man, you're conspiracy. Weather weapons, dude, they were gonna alter. No, man, chemtrails ain't real. They're gonna alter the weather. No, man. Why are everybody gay, dude? They're the gay frog water 10 years ago. No, man, that doesn't matter. No, really, you're not looking into none of this. So like we spent 10 years like validating our existence with our beliefs, right? So now that we're here, when it comes out, we said this a couple days ago, but this is important for the Bill Maher discussion and the internet waking up. We're at the point that we're like, of course they're fucking pedophiles, assholes. Like I'm done. Of course they're gonna murder Charlie Kirk in front of you. They said they were gonna. They said they hate you. They said you're a slave. They said they're going to take your children and turn them asexual. They told you what they're doing for 100 years. They've done this for 1,000 years. It's the same family that runs it all. Here's the bloodline. Here's the fucking ancestry.com data that nobody wanted to look at. But we now have ChatGPT. And I said that's why they got to get the robots ready, is because when the truth all comes out, it's going to break the psyche of the entire world at once.
Well, and they're
Imagine everybody
you,
having a mental psychosis at one time. It
well,
will be
remember,
like
they're
the
telling us the reason the
largest
Epstein
chaos
files
ever.
couldn't have been released is because it was going to
It
shut the
would shut
world
down
down.
the world down. They wanted to shut the world down.
Why? It's not like they have big bunkers they can run to, right?
Want it. They want it.
You know what I was thinking about the other day?
They have told you. The only proof you actually have that they told you they blew up in the middle of the fucking night. And nobody gave a fuck about them fucking rocks until everybody was trapped inside and started researching stuff, because the internet finally connected us all. And because people actually got to sit around long enough and figure out the truth and actually connect all the dots, because everybody had a little bit of piece of the puzzle. But when you put us all in the same room, we're like, the issue is you wanted us to know. You want us to know. That's it. Elon said, I don't know where the fucking video is. I'll pull the short up and send it to you. Elon said we're already in the pods. It just doesn't look like what you think. It's the screens. It's the video games. It's the mindless
Oh, was
television.
that Elon who said that?
We're all, dude.
I brought that up on the show yesterday. I couldn't remember who said
He
that.
fucking is a trillionaire. How am I and Dave saying the same thing as a trillionaire are saying? Because the average person can't even handle this. Elon said retirement's pointless. That's actually where the video came from. He said that don't even bother saving for retirement because where we're going, it's pointless. Which yes, if what he's talking about is what is going to happen, fine. Save for retirement, people. like,
Maybe don't take that advice up.
Like out of all the stuff to take from the guy, that is one thing to take with like literally a grain of salt. Because for all you know, if you save for retirement, it could triple because the way money flips because of AI. AI might reward you for saving money, and that's the thing they're not factoring. Or they know that and they're not telling you. That's the other, like, this is what I'm saying. Like, if they know the same shit and they have the money, means, operations, and all the time in the world to navigate around us getting replaced by computers, by strategically making human slaves until they can replace us and murder us all at one time, right? Or have us do it ourselves by killing ourselves by staring at our phone, mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Like, it literally kills you physically, drains you emotionally, kills your purpose, takes your testosterone. It literally is, it sucks everything. It's the apple. It sucks everything from you. So they have that all set up at the same time. And They have all the time, money, energy, resources, and all the means. They have all the TRT. They have all the doctors, and all those people are all in a group that are all doing the same thing because they all talk about it. They're going to be the only people left. They've already it's already Kim Kardashian, all them. They're probably in on it. That's the trade off. Be like, look, dude, you do all this stuff, you're going to be one left. And then when money's hyperinflated, like it's just they know what's going to come and they're already ahead of it. They're telling you not to save for retirement because the machine is going to punish us for believing idiots. Like that's the weird thing I was actually thinking about now that I've said the thing about I hope the machines allow me to ask a question. Maybe Judgment Day is the computer. Right? Revelations, we all get judged. Like, what if you have to, when AI is here and they make the God robot, you have to walk before the council of a robot and they pull up everything you've ever done, ever, forever, for your whole life, everything that's ever been recorded, all the stories. They get everything, compile it, breeze through it in 35 seconds, and they look at you and say, what do you have to say for yourself? And you have to justify your entire existence metaphysically because they know every thought in your brain. What the fuck are you going to do? And if you think I'm crazy, I want to ask Elon Musk that question because he probably thinks it's a good question, David. Because the average person can't even understand that global pedophiles have enslaved you. But Dave and I have been telling you for 10 fucking years. And I have to wait for the world. I have to wait for Bill Maher. I have to wait for Tim Dillon. I have to wait for Joe Rogan. The whole Rogan verse is up on it. That's a third of the internet. And what's Joe Rogan going to tell you to do? Take DMT?
Probably eat meat and work out.
He's going to tell you all the same shit that they're telling you. Oh, just get independently wealthy and get ahead of. You're not going to outrun the robot. I've been trying to tell you people this. You're not outrunning the fucking things coming. It's God. They're gonna build like their version of a God, and you think you're gonna outrun fucking God. Can you outrun the real God or the metaphysical God or energy or no? Why would a fake synthetic, strategically planned, militaristic, scientific takeover of humanity and the globe? Why would that be any different with mass metadata? Ain't mind control algorithms. They can implant a thought in your brain. Allegedly. Dave, I
mean,
have a
that was
list on here. How many conspiracies need to be left to be true? Really? I mean, really, what's left now? What is left out of all the big conspiracies? 9/11's been fucking blown out. JFK, Martin Luther King, both murdered openly now. Well, we got to go back to 1700s and know that Lincoln was assassinated by somebody in his cabinet. What, that the founding fathers set this country up only for rich people? What do we got? The flat earth fake moon landing? Hitler being a good guy? Aliens are real or fake?
Ooh, Trump said he's going to release
God?
UFO UAP documents, Ryan.
God in the simulation? And was Mel Gibson right? Is it all the goddamn Jews' fault? I mean, name another conspiracy I'm missing.
Oh, there's probably thousands of them.
There's thousands, but like out of the enchilada, out of the golden egg, we have demonic, global elite sex trafficking pedophiles. That takes care of like 70% of the stuff. 9/11 takes care of all the other shit inside false flags, like
Crisis actors.
like the whole dude. Epstein's Ghislaine Maxwell's family or whatever owns the photography companies that would take pictures of children and then they would like fucking pawn out the children photographs and they would like they'd pick their favorite kids to come and fucking kidnap. Are we out of our mind? We gave once again. Imagine Hitler with all. If Hitler's as bad as they say, David, I don't know anymore. If Hitler had all that data on Jews, what the fuck would he do with it? He did that with word of mouth and paper. And we're seeing it. They would groom your kids to fuck them. They'd turn you into a boy if you're a girl. They turn you into a girl if you're a guy. They make it us one gender. They don't want you to have a beard. They want to destroy the family, make money so high. They know exactly what they're doing. And we have to wait. What day? We have to wait for. Don't say for retirement.
Shapiro says to wait for the facts, right?
Why, David? When the facts get here, it's going to be a fucking. It's going to be an android robot that's going to
but at least when the
self-evolve in
facts
front of your eyes.
when
It's
the
going to
facts are official,
self-evolve.
Ryan, then at least you'll know the answer.
Do people realize what the fuck self-evolution even means? Like, this is the problem. I have an imagination. It's very high, very high. I can imagine a lot of things. I'm like Green Lantern. Hal Jordan has the greatest imagination in all the universe. That's why when he's given the Green Lantern ring of will, between his willpower and his imagination, he can create the most strongest, most powerful will energy ever because his imagination is so great. I have an imagination. If I can imagine crazy shit, I can't imagine what a fucking all god powerful robot the thing that can imagine all imagine that has ever imagined of all of imagining. That thing's gonna self-evolve when it judges you. It's gonna stand there like a fucking transformer. In like you might not even see a transform. It might like melt into your mother. It might turn into your mother to judge you. The room will smell.
Like
It will
sulfur.
feel like you're in virtual fucking reality. It will dissolve around. It will come to you in the middle of the night. It will come to you like this, dude. And like you got to think too. When the thing's made, it's just gonna hit the girl. They're not gonna come out and be like, "We made the robot." People be waiting for you know. It's just gonna like fucking happen. It's just gonna happen. Like when they made the first light bulb, it took like a few weeks for everybody on Earth to know. Imagine how long it's going to take for everybody to know that the giant first AI was fucking made. And tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm like thinking the wrong thing. Tell me I'm thinking we got global intergalactic pedophiles running the fucking world. I was right about that too. And this isn't us being super smart, David. We say this all the fucking time. They've told us what they're doing. They showed us the artists that were here. I talked about this, the collective unconscious. They're showing you like, hey man, this is what's happening. Hey man, this is what's happening. Hey man, this is what's happening. We're in a fucking computer or God computer, computer God. I don't really care. I don't really, like it's metaphysically it's real. Metaphysically God's real. Then why are we debating it? Because we want to have a belief system to fall back on, because our brain and imagination can't comprehend actual reality anymore because it's too big. God made it simple. God created the world in 7 days. That makes me have a 7-day cat. It all makes sense. I like the story. The story makes sense. It's still real because I'm fucking here on a 7-day workday. Like it's real. It don't even matter if God's real. Everything else about it is real. But I said this, David, the internet's waking up because what are we going to do when most people are all going to work and we all just joke? I made a joke about Epstein the other day at work and we all just laughed about it. It was like, now I know I'm in blue collar, but this is what I mean about the internet's waking up. This is happening in like dealerships, David, teachers, businessmen. They're all finding out about it because it's all over the fucking place. You literally cannot get away from it. So what happens when everybody all at once realizes that everything has all just been a con job their whole life and everything they've ever been invested and told by all their teachers, and you can't even fault anybody because everybody was lied to the whole time and compartmentalized. So it's not even like you can even be mad at one person because the thing you're mad at is actually an idea. How the fuck can you be mad at an idea when that idea birthed your entire identity? Because if you're mad at the idea, that means you're mad at your identity. And how can you be mad at your identity if it gave you purpose, drive, or reason, existence, fucking college, accolades, money, fame, notoriety? It gave you all those things, even though you hear from all those people with all those things that thing doesn't make you happy. With all the money, all the fame, there's still this, they're addicted to drugs, cheat on all that stuff. It doesn't make you, but those are the things that we're told to build. But we were told to build by people that were controlled by people that have built the world around enslaving humanity and fucking kids and worshiping the devil. And it happened thousands of years ago, written in ancient books that I was told, we were all told is just lies and lies, and religion's a lie and God's a lie. It's all lies. They're sacrificing children just like they did. Nothing's different. There's nothing new under the sun. They don't want you to know history. And they're doing it. They're still doing it. They never stop doing it. It's the same families doing it. David, it's the same people. They're reincarnated with children blood. Wait, they're transferring fucking cheese through fucking meditative practices and cutting like, wait, what? I thought chakras was just like a monk thing, David. I didn't know you could demonically be possessed and transfer all your energy onto another being. I didn't know you could smoke DMT and see magical, mystical elves and talk to the other side. I didn't know any of that. I got in an argument with a guy at work a little bit the other day because he mocked God and he's like, it's just ran by pedophiles. And I was like, dude, I get where you're coming from. I was like, but don't you think if you were the devil, the first thing you would do is you would fill religion with pedophiles and destroy the good name of God? You want to have people stop having kids, you just make them infertile and tell them that, people are poison. Stop yourself. You ain't got to force them. Just repeat the thing long enough, everybody believes it. And that goes back to the thing about it'd be like society psychosis. What would that be? Mass psychosis? Psychiatricosis? Like, dude, it'd be mass spectrum psychosis. Everybody be snapping at different stuff, like the people that knew this and then they go to work, but then work falls apart because the people that didn't know this, so now I'm financially ruined because this person couldn't mentally think about pedophiles, and then they go home and leave their wife, and then their wife leaves their kids, and their kids are fucking. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All because you guys want to fuck kids. You're gonna ruin everybody's life because you want to fuck kids. For the devil. Now, look, I'll go back to the devil because it's been a little preachy, David. I'm sorry. But you may not think there's the same thing with Bohemian Grove. You may not believe it, but these people do. And when you look at what these people do in work and they're the teachers and they're the highest people in society and they're worshiping a owl in the middle of the night. We're told we're weird to go worship a cross. You know what I mean? Or a mosque or Muhammad or you're told you're weird for having your beliefs. These people, billionaires, are flying out in the middle of the night, taking a whole week off to have a big long convention with strippers and coke and eating kids' body parts and then praying to the devil. But I don't need to worry about their history in college, George Bush and Skull and Bones. I don't need to worry about any of that. Of them getting fucked in the ass and recording it for blackmail. We don't got to worry about none of that. But we seen them use Trump's grab the pussy tape. Said that at the time. How long did they have that on tuck? They knew about that tape and the second they needed it. I thought you guys cared about women getting raped. You didn't care all those years you had the tape, though. It's all a hoax, folks. Trump knows psychology. That's actually what's interesting about watching him now. I didn't understand it because he got me even. Because I thought that he would go in because he was the one doing all the stuff, knowing all the people in all the rooms. I thought he would actually be the one person that could do what had to be done. The disagreeable Jesus, we'll say, David, the archetype. I didn't think like it would be, but you never know. It's all a hoax. He knows how mass psychosis works. He can just say it, and he's got the machine, and he probably went through and took out all the adversaries that even if it is fake news or whatever, he did such a good job of breaking that down that it doesn't even matter if you know the truth anymore. Nobody can handle it. You can't handle it. We're making jokes about Jeffrey Epstein and them fucking kids while the prince is having to step down because of it. But it's a hoax. We were told it didn't exist, then it exists. There's a list, but the list is on a desk, and then it's not on my desk because it doesn't exist. And then, just walk through and then in the files, what you're talking about. I'm surprised people are going to work. Honestly, I give the average American, the people that at least read a lot of credit. Like, people can endure pretty crazy things that we're all like, I know we're not all okay with it because we're all just trying to do what we have to do because in the grand scheme of things, them fucking kids doesn't change your life. But that's what's going on. And you know what's crazy is we know it. And we don't have time because We can't even. We all want to revolt, but we can't be revolutionaries because we got to make a mortgage payment. I gotta go. The revolution's got to stop at 11 p.m. I got to wake up at work for 5. We have no system in place to even like strategically organize to like dismantle this level of what we're under. Because before it was like women's rights, they gave us something to be mad about. They've talked about this. This isn't me, David, right? This is something these elites talk about. They gave us the rights to fucking shut us up. Because by the time they give us the rights, they already have a way around it.
Brian, let's move on to the Board of Peace, which is an incredible Board of Peace.
There's a Board of Peace.
Yeah, this is where the plans for Gaza are being laid out, of course.
Oh, you mean? I thought you meant like the actual Ministry of War, and you were just calling it peace because
that's our only department.
War is peace, David.
Yeah, no, this is a global Board of Peace. Yes,
we're the global Board of Peace that's building New Gaza.
I'll play the clip and let you take it, but just to preface this, when I saw this clip, I've watched a lot of, not as many as you, of course, but I've watched a lot of movies over the years, and some of them being dystopian, or I've played video games where the word dystopian, right, would be, a descriptor. And sometimes they seem unrealistic, like the dystopian things, because it just goes so extreme, whatever. I don't know what it was about this video that I watched, but it was like arguably the most dystopian feeling thing I've ever seen. This was played at the Board of Peace global meeting, and remember, they're still, of course, clearing the rubble.
The United Nations Security Council approved the establishment of the Board of Peace chaired by President Donald Trump, a governing body dedicated to providing security, infrastructure, and homes for Gaza's people, ushering in the new dawn for Gaza. The new Palestinian Technocratic Government of Gaza, the NCAG, was elected with consent of all parties, including the Palestinian factions, Israel, and the Arab countries. Rafah border crossing with Egypt was opened. The NCAG will secure the disarmament of Gaza to ensure one authority, one law, and one weapon. The United States and its partners, in coordination with the World Bank, are pledging billions of dollars to rebuild Gaza. Safe areas are being established in Rafah and later across the Gaza Strip, where families can receive shelter, food, healthcare, and education. In Rafah, Gazans will build their first new city, the NCAG, with the Board
of Peace called Master, David.
Development across the entire Strip, employing hundreds of thousands in reconstruction and business activity. Transportation, water, and energy systems will be restored, and a modern economy will begin to emerge. Children will return to classrooms with a curriculum that promotes tolerance, dignity, and peace.
They're showing you 15 minutes.
Our goal by year 3, Rafah fully rebuilt, unemployment curbed, and Gaza connected to the world through an Abraham.
I don't know if I can sit
Egypt,
even through
Israel,
this. So fucking pissed
Jordan,
off.
Saudi Arabia.
Look at
the UAE,
they got a plan for every city in America, but David, they're just going to level it. It will be a train derailment, a nuclear fallout, a fucking man-made earthquake. They'll fucking poison the water supply. They'll blow up a fucking natural gas well and level all the towns for everybody.
Secure,
and then they have a nice 15-year plan to just come through and fucking give me a Board of Peace. I can't. She'll blow up the Board of Peace and replace it with the fucking Biden murders. Right. Biden murders everybody. Trump lets Biden in. Biden murders everybody. Biden is incompetent, so we can't even hold him astute. Get Kamala in there because we're more focused about Kamala being a female president and holding Biden account for being fucking a disaster. But the disaster was planned, David, so that they can come in and build these 15-minute cities and us It's like you have it be a disaster. Trump runs on peace, and instead of peace, we get the opposite of peace because peace is war in 1984. So we got peace is war, which is, oh, we didn't have to do it either. America didn't have to do it. Israel did it. Remember when Trump and Iran were talking? And,
Well, I have a
and then fucking Israel was striking Gaza and destroying everything. That was when they were booby trapped, or they were murdering men, children and women and stuff. And then Trump comes in and says, "Oh, I'm going to be the peace deal, all this stuff." And then he has unlimited license from his voting base because the president before was incompetent. It was actually Biden's incompetency that destabilized the area, even though it's actually Israel destabilizing the fucking area. That's what at least Gaza's been saying, but I'm told to not believe Gaza. But everybody on the internet says believe Gaza.
here's a.
But you know what? When you send one of your renowned journalists in your entire country, one of the most well-known people on the face of the globe, he just randomly gets picked out in his entourage in his country.
This is fun.
Does the U.S. have a favored candidate? Are we talking about
No.
Reza Pahlavi? Because he's around quite a bit.
Yeah, I like him, fine, but it's up to the Iranian people. Don't get ahead of yourself. The day after the regime falls will be complicated.
We don't do day after well in the U.S.
That's what you got to quit saying. We, it's not we, it's them. It's not my job to construct a new Iran. It's my job to give them the opportunity to construct a new Iran.
They're calling it New Iran, dude. Like New York.
Or
I
New
live
Rafa or
in
New
New
Gaza.
York. New York came from York, which was in England. I don't know what York is currently. It's probably still called fucking York. Because when they came here, they're like, oh, this will be New York because we came from York in England or wherever the fuck they were from. I know we know this. This is like I don't know though, because 18-year-old I work with didn't know what 11:15 meant on an analog clock. So I don't know if we know this anymore.
Did he think
Like,
it
I
was
don't know
11:25?
11:20. 11:25. Yes, he thought quarter
Okay,
20 because there's 60. Like he had the concept but didn't have the minutes. Like, yes,
Right.
it is a quarter
It's a
of
quarter
60, which is
1/4 of 60, which is 15.
15.
Yeah, almost at it.
Mind you, we deal with tape measures and quarters all the time. So like you're literally converting fractions to decimals and back. And he's in a math class. Was in math class in high school 2 years ago.
Yeah, keep going.
I'm 15 years older than him nearly, and I know what 11:15 is, but I can barely do fractional math, but I can build a building off a tape measure, which is fractional math. So do what you will. Common Core fucking don't work. That's the other thing about Common Core. It's generational learning disruption because when me and my daughter even try to talk about like math, she's learning a completely different way than I do. So I'd have to relearn math to even talk to her. And then before I were to be able to tell her what I'm talking about, I'd have to convert it to Common Core, or she'd have to learn that. Like the amount of shit. This is like got to be from going from hieroglyphs to Sanskrit. Like okay, I have to go back to okay, it's this, and then this is this. Okay, and then you'd have to come back. Like, how much energy is it taking to just do fucking 2 + 2? Build it. You know what I mean? Like, we got by thumbs. You know, I said the other day at work, dude, I'm sure a tape measure was invented in ancient sometime. Somebody tied a rope with a fucking knot every same amount of distance. It's like there ain't no, if I thought about it, they thought about it.
Like they didn't even know the distance. They just knew it was this many.
They used their foot. They were like, all right, if my foot is this big, you know, we use arm poles in electricity, but if you measure your arm poles, my arm pole is about 6 feet. So if I measure something on a tape measure and it's 20 feet, if I go over and I take, you know what I mean, 4 arm poles, 5 arm poles, like I know that I'll have enough. I don't need to take my tape measure and measure the edge of the wire. I'm literally just taking practical math. Like, that's what I mean. Like, it's weird. My cousin's a math teacher. He teaches the math that I do with a tape measure, but I can't, like, he can't build the thing that he's teaching, but I can't teach the thing that I was taught to build. Like he can, you know what I mean? Like I can teach you on the job site off a tape measure and a fucking pencil, but he can show you on a piece of paper and a pencil the same thing I can show you off a tape measure, like in the physical world. He can show you in the paper metaphysical world. And it's just like, that's the way the world is. There's type A person and type B person. And like, I don't think it's ever been different. I don't know how we have got here, but New Gaza, because they're constructing the new world in New York. Yeah, dude, this is crazy. World of peace. They showed you their plan for 15 minutes. Imagine if they do this to all the cities at one time, and you know what they're going to tell you? This is going to be great for job creation.
Oh yeah,
Because I need to worry about job creation while you're fucking my kids and worshiping the devil. And I can't even afford to drive to where you guys are to protest you. They won. I can't fly. Nobody can fly on a plane to catch Epstein. He has a own island that's outside of law. I assume when Trump made Mar-a-Lago his like thing, it put it in a different category of legalities that you can't just like a police officer can't just go there because it's a federal fucking protected building now. Like he's protected by different statutes, just like when it became a cemetery. It allowed him to pass on the property without paying any income tax, or that his family has to inherit an inheritance tax or an estate tax or anything. It's all outside of all of that when it's a cemetery. And they're probably going to only bury him and his family there. But hey, at least the 401k is doing well. But they're worshiping the devil. But my retirement. But Elon says retirement's pointless, David. Is that why also Elon came out and said retirement's pointless? Because he's also trolling people because they're telling me that our 401ks are doing good, which, mind you, like I've said, is only good in 30 years. And mind you, in 30 years, there could be the greatest recession of all time, just like in 2008 and 2020 with fucking the pandemic. You can't plan for that, but I have to plan. I have to plan in 30 years in the future because you're fucking kids and worshiping the devil and my Dow Jones is 50,000. The same time, the guy that's making all the AI and has access to all the information is also telling me that retirement is pointless because of where AI is going. So you're going to allow me to let you fuck kids for 30 years so I can retire a millionaire, but the millionaire that I'm going to be is going to be pointless because all the shit you're making while you're fucking kids is going to make my millions pointless.
Oh, we're good.
Holy
We're
fuck.
good. We're good.
Holy
I got worried. You
fuck.
brought up the Dow Jones. I forgot to check if it was below 50,000.
Holy fuck, dude. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. I can't bitch because the Dow Jones is good, so you can fuck kids. But in the future,
We're good. We're good.
by the
It's
time
below
you
50.
fuck kids, you fuck kids for 30 years because I'm gonna be a millionaire. But when I finally get my millions, it's obsolete because the AI that you built while you were fucking kids for 30 years made my millions obsolete, and now I'm still a slave, but to intergalactic cyborg pedophiles.
Ryan, let's end on this.
I'm sorry, this was a crazy episode. I have had the society, the mentality, it is coming full circle. I'm seeing it in my daily life. I know I focus on it, so it's drawn to me. I understand that energy, universe. Thank you. I understand that. But I am fucking telling you, boys. I'm Chad. I'm telling you, December Nation. I'm telling you, Dave. I'm telling you, we are here. I can feel it. It might take 10 more years. And by then, the fucking God is here. I don't care. We're in the singularity, like they said. I've said it. They said it now. It's justified. No, I'm telling you, I've given you my analysis. Dave and I have given you our breakdown. We've literally war gamed against them, and we've been proven right every time. I've been proven right every time. Dave has been proven right every time. And I'm fucking telling you, we are in literally when Alex says we are in the fight for good and evil for the soul of humanity. He's not. When you wake up every day remembering you're fighting for the soul of humans. Watch your videos, play video games. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to drink my beer, go out, have fun. I'm going to do the same shit. But I am conscious about the fact that
and they
what
are
we're up
able.
against. Sorry, I'll leave it right here.
No. Sorry,
What we're
I
up
didn't
against,
accident.
where we're going, the ideas, the things we're consuming. We have to have some intention. Build your life intentionally. Oh yeah, what's up? All right. Also, before we go any further, Megyn Kelly, big fan. Whatever you're doing, keep doing, and tell the younger girls so that they all age like that. Because she looked like 30, dude. She looked like 30 years old. Megyn Kelly's like 50. I don't know what child's blood she's drinking, but all right, AOC, what you got for me?
I think this will be a good way for you to round the show out.
And they are able to radicalize and target and exploit a generation of young boys, in particular, away from healthy masculinity and into an insecure masculinity that requires the domination of others who are poorer, browner, darker, or a different gender than them. And that is why they are resonating online, because they are appealing to the most basest and worst parts of human nature to divide.
Look, I don't really give a fuck about the skin color, but here's what I'll tell you. The people that are turning into Fuentes are because it's the same thing as you wanting Black Panther played by a black person. I don't want to hear it. People are falling in line with the things that they fall in line with because we are in the space of we're in hyper selectivity right now, people. People are gravitating, and now mind you, the algorithm is also making people more extreme in their views. It's not making you more open-minded. So factor that in. Some of this is definitely that. But I think people are just aligning with somebody that looks like them and talks like them and believes like them. Not saying they're great beliefs, some of Nick Fuentes' stuff or some of this person's stuff, right? You know what I mean? Like, I'm only referencing Fuentes because he is the biggest thing that I agreed with him controversially, what he said and the way he phrased it is I enjoyed it. But though I know it can carry like a lot of heavy breakdowns and fine with that debate, is that white people have a very interesting and special history with America. Like he tried to say that it's our country without saying it's our country. You know what I mean? Because especially locally here, when you talk to people about this area, it's like, no, I fucking built this place. Like this is my home. You know, so like when did that mindset start in a place that's only a couple hundred years old? Right. So like we have an interesting history. I mean, we're like displaced people. You know what I mean? Like they left for religious freedom. They were displaced.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think that there's a lot of things she said that's different, but different points. But I think that when you look at the people that, at least as far as she's talking about these we'll say fringe, even though Nick Fuentes is mainstream, it's because people are so disfranchised. The only way that they're getting recognition or anything that they feel is acceptance, understanding, progress, a discipline, direction is from extremities. That's why Jocko works. That's why David Goggins works. That's why Chris Bumstead works. That's why Alex Hormozy works. That's why Dave Ramsey works. That's why Joe Rogan. You know, like these people are extreme. Dave Ramsey tells you to get 5 fucking jobs and to live on rice and beans to get out of debt. You know what I mean? Like David Goggins ran till he broke his body. You know what I mean? And we look at these people like they're superheroes. And I guess I'll say this and I'll leave this on this point. I heard a theory, David. Maybe you can punch it in chat. It's called the great man theory. And I love this concept. I love this idea. When I heard it last week, I think it actually summarizes a lot of what we talk about on this podcast because I feel a lot of the concepts that we actually talk about when we talk about our ideals are based around this center focus of like excellence is actually what drives human experience, not most of humanity. It's not the masses driving humanity. It's like a few thousand good people stressed over thousands of years that are building light bulbs or building capacitors. Or now, Grant, when I go to work and do electricity, it's very important. I have an important job, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't invent electricity. Like for as great of a man I am riding on the coattails of greatness because somebody invented electricity. And that idea goes back to Adam and Eve. even, like when the fucking first person that invented fire, because it was only one person that discovered or invented something, or it took this invention and then this person took, you know what I mean? It's built on small pebbles of greatness. Alexander the Great was a great man that inspired greatness that led to people around him being great. It's the summary of 5 people. If you hang out with 5, you'll be the 6th, but with character traits throughout human history. And some doctor, I don't know if you pulled it up, but it was like a book or something, and a guy wrote and he talked about this. And
Thomas
I heard
Carlyle.
I heard a summary about this, but basically what the guy's perspective that I heard was that we used to model societies after this concept, which is why we always prop up our historical figures: George Washington, Thomas Edison, Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks. Like when you learn history, you're actually just learning like 50 great people, 150 great people. And then because they take that person and tie it to the movement, the civil rights movement, MLK, black justice, LBJ, and JFK, the ending of Vietnam, George Bush, and 9/11. Like we don't. It's almost like human psyche can't conceptualize ideas, so we boil them down to people. Like the symbol of a generation is this music or this thing or this, and maybe that's why it's so deep psychologically. But I don't know. Do they have a summary of it?
It says the great man theory, sometimes called great man theory of history and or leadership, is a 19th century idea that history is primarily shaped by the actions and decisions of exceptional individuals. The theory is most famously associated with Scottish philosopher, historian, and essayist Thomas Carlyle. In his 1841 book, On Heroes, Hero Worship, and the Heroic in History, based on a series of 1840 lectures, he argued that the universal history, the history of what man has accomplished in this world, is at bottom the history of great men who have worked here. He views these figures as divinely inspired or naturally gifted with superior qualities like intellect, courage, charisma, vision, and leadership. They act
Big
as
5
primary,
personality traits, right?
they act as primary drivers of change, appearing at critical moments to guide humanity forward.
Disagreeable Jesus.
He categorized heroes into types, including divinity, Odin, prophet, Muhammad, poet, Shakespeare, priest, Martin Luther, man of letters, Rousseau, king leader, Napoleon Bonaparte. He believed ordinary people are passive fuel waiting for these lightning-like figures to ignite progress.
That's why you go to movies, you go to bands, you go to sports arenas. You'll love your favorite sports player. I don't know why. It's like hero worship, right? Like that was actually the thing I made fun of sports for years, David. You know that behind the scenes more than anybody. I roasted sports. I mean, I always liked it. I played it. I understood it, but it was like, dude, it's because I got bitter. I was like, you're not paying attention to this. But because I did that, I was egotistical, thinking I'm like better than somebody. But then when I started focusing on the greatness aspect of just watching greatness be greatness, it let me love sports more, which let me love politics more. Because then you like almost study history more. They feed each other, which is what this is saying. Like people worshiping Michael Jordan actually is dope to me now, because like even if you're not chasing greatness, at least you understand greatness. Like you're obsessed with something great. You're idolizing greatness even if you don't chase it. And that's what like this kind of, I'm brutally breaking this down, Ryan philosophy, Wallace Wayne philosophy here, but like that's what that is. Like people are idol. This is kind of like the idea of like if you don't have a god, you will worship something we're naturally worshiping. This is people, most people, the greatest, we said this before, most masculine men of all time, Jesus Christ, right? Hands down, probably everybody agrees. It's like the number one reason to read the Bible and act like Jesus is just to be a masculine man, a good person, right? Bare minimum. All the religion is extra, but like if you don't have that, at least you got Michael Jordan, you got Josh Allen, you have your favorite character in a video game, you have Aragorn from Lord of the Rings, was always one for me. One of the greatest characters of all time, in my opinion. Frodo Baggins from the Lord of the Rings, one of the greatest characters of all time ever written. Gandalf, greatest character of all time ever written. Now, I know this is my sphere, but that archetype of the wise old man is in Dumbledore.
Mhm.
You know, it's in a science fiction movie like fucking Spock or something, right? The all-knowing, all-powerful, like they're all over the place. And that's why they resonate, is because deep down psychologically, we all understand. And it's not like, once again, David, it's not like this person, oh my God, he's so special. A lot of the shit that I think has come is people doing what has to be done. I don't think maybe Alexander's a bad example. He was an egotistical asshole. But like sometimes greatness is thrust upon you, right? Like Patrick Henry didn't want to get into politics. He was forced to it. Give me liberty, give me death. You know, like he didn't want to. That inspired Thomas Jefferson, second president of America. Like, it's there. They took it from us. They don't want you to know legends. They don't want you to believe in legends. They don't want to make you think that you can be legendary. And I think that's wrong. And, you know, I guess, David, on being a legend or one of the greatest men to ever live, I guess that is one thing I will wait for the facts on, because I can't wait for the life that you and I pay for ourselves. So, Dave Ryan, December 17th, 73. Catch us on Rumble for the only podcast in human history. As always, David, I appreciate you most for your time. I'll see everybody later.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.
Bye-bye.